So have you ever seen a Knicks Jets sweatshirt combo
Never
before?
seen it, and I
I
think the
was,
fact that it's white makes it look even more ridiculous.
I know, right? And then this,
Even weirder.
it's
Even
all
weirder.
weird. It's just weird being a Jet fan. See, the one thing that isn't weird is if I take this out of the equation, all this is cool. So, you know what? I had a little epiphany watching the Notre Dame game, and we'll get into that. But it was a great game. Being from the East Coast, if you don't go to a university or you don't, college football does not exist on the East Coast of America. Either you like Rutgers or you like Notre Dame because you're Irish, or you like the movie Rudy, which Bing Bing got two of them, and me and Rudy are the same height, so that works out perfect. But we haven't had a significant football team in the last 14 years and 8 years prior to that. So all I want is some meaningful football on Sunday. I heard football's fun.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've done a complete 180 on Notre Dame. I hated them in the early 2000s when they stunk, and I had to watch them every single weekend on NBC.
Why? Because their linebackers had fake girlfriends? Is that why?
No, they weren't good, but they were shoved down your throats with the national TV deal.
And the
And that was
soft
before,
schedule.
well, and that was before they never had a soft schedule. They were always playing a good schedule. But that was before there were games on every channel, you know? So it was like they were filling up one of three spots every weekend, right? Like, but now I love it because I have so many friends that are like, Notre Dame can't keep up, house the dogs, and Notre Dame
Well,
with
you
the
get a lot.
NIL
Yeah.
and they can pay people, there's just levels the playing field. I mean, parity is in college football, and I'm all
Well,
for
Notre
it.
Dame cared about the Scholastics for way too long, and it shot them in
Hmm.
the foot, and they had one arm tied behind their back. So, in fact, when they did make it to those national championships, that's when they actually started loosening the reins on going to class. Because when they had Lou Holtz, you had to go to class. Like, you had to be a smart dude. So you had to get one and the same. And the head coach of the Irish, unbelievable job after they lose to Northern Illinois this year. I mean, was it North Dakota or Northern Illinois?
No, Northern Illinois.
Yeah, it was Northern Illinois. Yeah, and I was watching that game live, and it was typical Irish. It was typical show up to a big game and blow it. And we were texting during the Irish and Georgia game, but defense is for real.
Hmm.
Zero mistakes by the quarterback. And you were funny. You were like, he should. He's been playing for 9 years in the NCAA.
I mean, that's the new path for a lot of these colleges. Get the sixth year guy who's played a ton of football, who may not be an NFL superstar, and run it back with him because the Irish did it last year with Hartman, who was pretty good. I think the team overall is way better this year, but it just seems to be Michael Penix did it.
Bro, he looks good.
He went from Indiana to Washington. Gabriel out in Oregon, they lost, they got their butts kicked, but like everybody saw that coming.
Dude, Penix looks good, man.
Yeah,
Really,
100%.
he's got a
But like, but
cannon.
he played a ton of football. Cam Ward played a ton of
Yeah.
football before he went to Miami.
Well,
So like, that seems to be the new.
I'm writing a note down right now, and it says Cam Ward on it. Okay? I'm literally leaving the desk because Cam Ward scares the shit out of me, and I'm not a Giant fan. So Cam Ward reminds me of EJ Manuel, I believe his name was,
Mm,
from the Buffalo Bills. Do you remember him from Florida State? Took over
yeah,
for
but
Jameis
totally, I
Winston.
feel like totally different
No, no,
people,
no. I'm not.
players.
I'm not saying like the Byron Leftwich because I would
Yeah,
say
yeah,
he
yeah.
was more of a Byron Leftwich guy. I'm just saying that kind of I get that vibe from this guy where he's got all the talent in the world, can make all the throws with that cannon that he has. He's got two left feet, it looks like. He don't move, right? He's like 230 pounds, right?
I don't think he's that big.
Cam is
I'm gonna
big,
look it up
dude.
right now.
He plays really big, but he scares the shit out of me if I were the Giants.
Look, fortunately, I don't think it freaking matters because the Giants decided to win a game and score 46 points last week, and now we're drafting fourth. So, like, and to think about today, the Eagles are resting all their starters, and they'll probably win another game because the Giants are just feeling so good about themselves.
Well, you
So,
got
the projections, if the Giants win, is we're going to draft ninth. So it's Kirk Cousins or Sam Darnold time in the Meadowlands. What else are you going to do?
I was going to say before, to your point, is that I do like this new trend with the quarterbacks, but the NIL deals can help these guys stay in school longer, can help them with their family, doesn't have to pressure them to go to the NFL when they're not ready for it. So the product of the NFL, I think, will benefit from this, not suffer, because we're starting to see the infallible NFL this year I don't care what anyone says, they had not a major step back, but it was a step back this year. The
In what
NFL
way?
season as a whole, it was the have and have-nots. You look around, there's 14.5-point spreads, like you were saying on last week's show, is that this is the parity league any given Sunday to a certain extent. But guess what? When you got at the end of the week, at the end of the year, you only got like 2 games in question to see who makes the playoffs.
Yeah, I think
That's bad news.
this year is definitely an
and then you got
anomaly.
what's the Chargers record to try to get in? And the
Chargers are 10-6.
10-6, and the Bengals are 9
Bengals are 9-8.
and they still have a shot. I mean, that's not too bad. But
that's every year. That's every year.
Would
Come
you
on.
agree, though, that it was down this year?
I don't
Or is
know,
it just
man,
me?
because I watch some of these teams and I'm like, holy shit, they're playing a completely different sport than the Jets and Giants are playing.
Well, no,
The Lions get the ball and it's just bing, bing, run it down your throat, bing, touchdown, minute and a half,
well,
90 seconds, they're in the fucking end zone. And I'm like, what sport is this? Because I haven't seen this in forever.
I'm not even considering the Jets and Giants in this conversation.
Yeah, no,
I'm
I
talking
agree.
legit. So I'm talking the product of the NFL this year. All I know is from when I would put my bets down, is that I see a lot of big spreads. I see a lot of favorites on the road, given 3.5 in the division. That's not a good state of affairs, bro. And you got to get this I call it spring training. You got to get training camp figured out, bro. The preseason. You saw a big effect on the NFL this year with the offenses. The offenses are cooking now in week 18. But if you look at the offensive production in the first 8 weeks, it was bad news. Everyone thought that we were going back to the, like the dead ball era in baseball. Running backs were all over the place. Saquon Barkley's were the cock of the walk. And dude, there was like no.
All right, so here's a really interesting stat. There are 11 teams with 10 plus wins, and there are another 10 teams between 7 and 9 wins. So it's like
the have and have.
At the end of the day, there's 3 tiers. Like, yes, there just happens to be a handful of shitty teams this year.
Yeah.
But I think, honestly, like, when you really look at it, like, 1, 2, 3, 4 teams with 3 wins, that's probably pretty.
It's so funny because I say take the Jets and Giants out of the equation, but we can't. Subconsciously, we can't. We put it through a Jets-Giants filter. So my NFL season, you ask a Chiefs fan, he's going to be like, this product's great. The NFL is the best it's ever been. And also, I was thinking about this.
Well, and also, I think also, like, again, going back to us being jaded, I mean, Jesus Christ, could they have fucking just thrown Aaron Rodgers in our face anymore at the beginning of the year? It was like, holy shit. The Jets had 6 out of the first 8 primetime weeks, and it was like, he stunk. He was bad.
2024 was the year of the PSYOP. We all know that. So it was Taylor Swift and Aaron Rodgers in my cake hole all day.
Dude, I just couldn't. They're on Sunday night. They're on Monday night. Oh, next week they're on Thursday night.
They chilled out with Taylor Swift this year, though. Did you notice that?
They did, yeah, because
the
woke is dead.
She was, they literally had them scissoring on ABC.
Hey, they got their fanship and viewers out of it, then it's ran a course.
Did you ever hear the real reason that she did that was to get, the Google search, you know how she's a big advocate for the environment, and she was getting her balls busted about how many emissions that she was giving up with her private plane.
Private jet.
And then she went out with him just to get the Google search down, just so that it would show up so much in the Google. Because the first thing that you would pop up would be like emissions and private plane and blah, blah, blah. So it was almost like a cleaning of your Google account almost, which I don't believe. But Jets and Giants moving forward. Jets this week is... Now, I haven't looked at any of the stats. Aaron Rodgers might be having one of the statistically best seasons of any Jets quarterback, and they have 4 wins. He might be close to the most yards thrown by any Jet quarterback. Now, audience, hello. I don't know. I didn't look at any of the stats. Chris, what did I tell you on the phone? What did I say?
Said he's probably top 10.
Probably top 10. And what did I say? Don't tell me. And I said, let's do it on the show.
All right. So I just picked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 seasons, and I'll start with Rodgers this year.
Okay.
3,600 yards, 24 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
So
One game remaining.
Hold on. Right now, before he walks onto the field today, he's got 3,600 yards passing.
Yep.
He's got 24 and 10.
Yep.
Holy shit, bro. That's a great season.
It's an okay season, not going to lie.
Okay, so where does he rank?
All right, so let's go to Ryan Fitzmagic, 2015.
He is, I think Fitzmagic is statistically the best quarterback we ever had. I would have to say the number 2 season, if I would have to guess, would be Vinny Testaverde. Number 3, hold on, we're not going by QB rating. I'm going by touchdowns,
right?
Interceptions, yards, overall eyeball test. That's what this podcast is about.
So let me go through. Fitzmagic, 2015, 39.05, 31 and 15.
Hold on, 39.05?
31 and 15.
Okay.
I'm going to go to Sanchez, 2011.
He had a lot of yards passing that year. Did he break 4,000?
34.74, 26 and 18. And another 6 touchdowns running.
Another
is in there.
So 28 total touchdowns and 18.
No, 32 total and 18 interceptions.
Okay.
Next, I went to Pennington, 36-53, 19 and 7.
Oof.
Which is, I mean, super efficient.
Noodle arm Magoo, though.
Yeah.
And what about Vinny?
Testaverde's best year was 2000, and he was 37-32, 21 touchdowns and 25 interceptions.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
No, what was he in 90? Can you give me a Vinny Testaverde 98 season? Because that's when they lost to the...
Yeah.
The
I guess,
Bucks,
yeah. 32-56, 29 and 7.
Okay. Now that...
In 14 games.
I think you might... I want to know the best statistical seasons. So 30... What was that? 32 and what? And 9?
32-56, 29 and 7.
I mean, that might be the best season.
It might be.
So, I want to read something to you. Take me about 20 seconds, so bear with me, okay? Hey, Lucas. Those are all of our quarterbacks since 2001. So, everyone talks about Woody Johnson and everyone talks about the Jets and their ineptitude and stuff like that. Well, maybe just have a fucking quarterback for more than 3 seconds.
Well, when you have an impulsive owner who likes...
These guys suck.
They do.
Woody Johnson didn't make Mark Sanchez suck. He didn't make Vinny Testaverde an over-the-hill fucking quarterback.
No.
See, it's Sunday and I'm getting upset.
I know, but again, like, I will die on the hill of Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez just, dude, he was on the ascent, and then everybody was gone. The whole organization was gone. Every wide receiver was gone. Holmes was gone. Edwards was gone. The Eagles then.
Why didn't he catch on with the Eagles?
Timing, dude. Timing's everything.
Wasn't Michael Vick the quarterback over there?
Of the Eagles? Yeah. What are you going to start over Michael Vick?
But wasn't Michael Vick backing him up on the Jets?
Was he?
Yeah. Michael Vick was a Jet. Do you remember that?
But yeah, that was after. Yeah, that was right out of prison. You know, I mean,
Well,
takes a little time. But like, dude, I think if they kept that crew together, he probably could have strung together another few solid seasons. But like every year was a new ragtag group of receivers. After that year with Santonio, Braylon Edwards, and Lavernius Coles, like that was the pinnacle. That was a great squad. Thomas
Mark
Jones running the
Sanchez
ball.
Sanchez is the best. Mark Sanchez is probably the best quarterback that they've ever had. But hold on. What I want to do is my exact goal here for this exercise, Christopher, is let's legitimately, like, who will we say is the number one quarterback right now with the statistics given on this show? The number one quarterback who had the best season as a Jets quarterback, would you say, in your eyes?
Hold
By
on.
looking at the statistics.
It's got to be Testaverde's not.
So Testaverde's 98, and Testaverde's 98 was what, Chris?
32, 56, 29, and 7.
29 and 7, 32, 56. Now, what I believe Ryan Fitzpatrick was second. What was his season?
39.05.
Yeah.
31 and 15.
So had they ever had a 4,000-yard passer?
Yep.
Let me try to guess. Who was their 4,000?
And again, there might be others, but I didn't look up Boomer.
Is it the
If you get it, I'd be shocked because
who's the guy Joe Beningo always talks about? Bro, what's his name before I was born, bro? Sack exchange, bro. Do you know who I'm talking?
Kenny O'Brien?
Yeah. No?
I don't know. Like I said, it was hard to like pull all these. So let me see. No, but honestly, do you know who did throw?
You're like, no.
Nope, he didn't. You know who did do it?
Who?
Joe Namath in 1967.
Only guy to do it.
7 yards. Might be I don't know.
4,007, did you say?
Yeah.
That's like the...
But he had 26 touchdowns and 28 interceptions.
And it pains me to compare them, but that's like the New York Yankees not having a 3,000 hitter until Derek Jeter. And the Jets haven't had a 4,000-yard passer in the era
That's
of
the only
offense.
One. That's
in the era of offense.
Dude, that's the only one for the Jets ever.
Did Tom
67.
Brady... Has anyone ever thrown for 6,000 yards?
No.
5,000 is the most, right? And Tom Brady, I think, has it.
Peyton Manning, 54-77 in 2013.
That's insanity.
1,500 yards more than...
He should be brought up on
Fitzmagic's.
war crimes for air raids.
It's unbelievable.
So what do you got this week? You got any picks for this Sunday?
I loaded up some Mike Evans props. Guy wants to get paid. He's got some bonuses.
Let me hear
He's got some incentives. What?
Let me hear what you got. What's the Mike Evans props?
Over 6 catches. It's like a $500 bonus if he catches 6 balls. And then it's over.
What do you mean a bonus?
Like all these players have incentives in their contracts. So like a lot of guys have like these.
So you got to tell the listeners at home what your train of thought was. What was what you're thinking walking into making these bets?
So like it was a huge thread on Twitter in terms of like, here's the players and their incentives. And I looked at it and I was like, who's most likely to hit this? Well, Mike Evans needs 5 catches to hit a $300,000 incentive, and then he needs 82 yards to hit another $300,000 incentive.
Mike Evans is going to get his.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, Mike Evans
he might be the best receiver of the
generation.
Like
after Megatron?
Yeah, like, and it's funny. It's like Evans has just been the most consistent.
1,000. A&M, Texas A&M, Johnny Football was his quarterback, bro. That team was phenomenal. He looked like a superhero when he played college football. That's how big he looked, and that uniform always makes people look bigger. It's so funny how some uniforms, like people on the Ravens, they look like orcs from Lord of the Rings, and then you get the Jets who look like they're wearing their dad's pajamas. Garrett Wilson looks like he stole his Jet uniform from Party City.
He has the long sleeves. I'm like, what goes
It
on
is. He looks 5'8", bro. He looks like me at Locust Valley High School. It's not a good look. When you look like me playing football, that's not good. You're a professional. Let's do a little bit better. He's not a number one either, and we need to stop this nonsense talk about him being number one.
No, he's not. He's too small, and he's not that guy.
All right, so
You're not that guy.
why don't we do this? It's the last week of the Jets season, so we had the season that we have. Are we bringing Aaron Rodgers back? We can't bring Aaron Rodgers back. This needs to be a clean slate.
You can't bring him back.
He's not under contract,
But
but
then
the stopgap is he. Can you got to stop clicking whatever you're clicking. Can he bring back? Okay. The Jets aren't going to get a quarterback in the draft. They're going to pick, I think, the best positional player or the best player on the board, which is going to be another defensive end. Okay. So let's just throw that out. Hopes and dreams, throw it out the fucking window right now. Who is there going to be their head coach? Who's going to be their general manager is big questions, but we don't know that right now. So the number one question is, does the owner want to bring back Aaron Rodgers? Apparently that relationship sucks.
Yeah.
That relationship sucks big time. Davante Adams is tied to him by the hip. So when he brought Davante Adams in, it alienated Garrett Wilson. So the guy that you have that you're paying peanuts for on his first contract, who actually is the talent in the future, you alienated him in. Aaron Rodgers brought 11 guys in from the Packers.
I think like, forget about who's going to be the quarterback. Who is going to build a culture there?
Yeah,
like,
but what I'm saying is,
but I mean, did you see the thing Sauce Gardner was like on the T. Higgins tweet?
Yeah, but hold on. But what I'm saying about Aaron Rodgers is that he's a stopgap quarterback. Whatever they do next year, they're going to need a quarterback, and he's probably their best viable option because he's already in the door. He already knows the organization, even no matter how bad it is. And guess what? We just read off his 3,600 yards passing, 24 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions in a 4-win season. So if this team gets a competent head coach and a general manager, gets this guy some tools, and starts coaching these kids up. So even
I don't know, dude. He's cooked, man.
He is at 24-10. He's cooked.
2020, yeah, he is. 2022, he was 3,700, 26 and 12. That's not a shell of himself.
It's the same season that he just had.
Exactly.
Just with some balls bouncing a different way.
The 2 seasons before that, 37 and 4, 48 and 5. 48 touchdowns.
Who's the alternative, bro?
I don't know.
Bringing in Kirk Cousins?
It depends who's there. It depends who's hired. GM. Who's the GM? Who's the head coach? Who's looking for a 1-year deal? Who needs a 1 or a 2-year deal?
So have we seen Aaron Rodgers' last game today in a Jets uniform?
We might have seen his last game in the NFL.
That was my next question.
I don't know that he wants to, like, it doesn't seem like, he just doesn't seem like he's having fun.
I think
and you're never having fun in a 4-win season, but like all the good teams have quarterbacks. So like, what's the next place for him?
I think the NFL wants it more than he does.
But people are so over this guy.
No, not the NFL. We are. We know this. The NFL doesn't think so. The NFL thinks it's 2001.
It's so funny how, like, they should have every piece of marketing. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Mahomes, Goff, shit. Like, even Sam Darnold right now should be, like, they're 14 and 2. And all we're talking about is all the national media talks about is Aaron Rodgers.
Everyone knows it's not sustainable, that Vikings team. They do this shit
I get it, but
all
still,
the time. So you can't make him the face of the do it again.
No, I don't mean the face, but like this is a big game.
Like he should be the Cinderella story of the NFL. I should see his face every time. I should see purple and gold every time I turn on the NFL. I see a lot of Chiefs. I see a lot of Lions. Rightfully so. Great stories, great franchises. Awesome, bro. And I kind of love how Kansas City, you really can't hate Kansas City with Andy Reid. I mean, well, you can because you're a Giant fan. from being on the Eagles and him eating your lunch for that many years.
No, dude, them, it's just the mind-numbing referee calls
Yeah.
in some of their games gets very obvious.
Okay. Yeah. 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 No, I understand. All right. Well, listen. So what we're gonna do now is you have to fucking
I
throw
am, I
that.
am.
No. Throw that fucking pen across the room, bro. Hey, click, click. If this is an audio podcast, you're killing me. But I love you. It's fine. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want